to the channel. My name is Fancy Ice, and I'll be your YouTuber today. Today, we're going to be talking about the T-44-85, and, just from a gameplay standpoint, definitely not doing an in-depth video today because I don't have time for it, but, we're going to pull up the store. T-22 medium containers, don't buy those. The deal is not good on that, in my opinion. They put out plenty of different deals for it, and this one is not good because there's no reimbursement for it. There's no charms. So when it comes to the T-44-85, I did recommend this bundle just because you get 2 tanks for it. It's cheap, and the Matilda isn't a horrible tank, but this one comes fully equipped for both of them, so you don't have to spend that money, and it's just cheaper than buying them both separately. I was fortunate enough to get some replays from 2 different people, TankeatingTiger and the Mexican. Really great people. I was fortunate to get their clips because I've played this tank. I've owned it since the Chieftain Mark 6 lockboxes. This is the second time it's actually been reintroduced into the game. Like I said, the first time it was from the Mark 6 lockboxes, and you had to pretty much gamble on crates. And the only way to get this one was to pretty much buy keys and buy boxes because it was pretty hard to grind. If you wanted the Mark 6 itself, it was all RNG. But I'm not very good at commentating these things, so I might just let them play out a bit. But there's your average blitz. Your average blitz. God, that's annoying. I hate when they'll just say really random stuff and someone will come back with something even stupider, and then someone will just say affirmative. But obviously Tiger goes to the left side. He wants to get some sneaky shots onto these tanks out there. One thing to note with this tank is while it does have fantastic DPM, if you're not running calibrated, you're going to be loving your APCR costs because you're just going to be spending so many credits on APCR because the tank doesn't have very good pen at all. If you can run rammer, but that means you have to play a lot more aggressive, and that's just the way I look at it. I'm not a very aggressive player. I don't want to push through enemy lines, which is why I like heavy tanks. I like being able to just sit back, tank some shots, and just kind of, move with the game. Just a moving mass of hit points for my team. It's just one of those things. He's trying to call some shots. He wants people to take out some other tanks for him because, he's on the flank. He wants to get around these people, and bam, tank. This tank, your T-44-85, it has some decent armor. It's not amazing. It's not outstanding. You can't really rely on it. Your gun is kind of like your armor. You can rely on it sometimes, but, you really got to make sure you're looking where you have to aim. It's not like a tank destroyer where you can just point at a tank and be like, oof, no armor for you. For heavy tanks, when you're facing off, you're either going to be loading APCR to try to go through them frontally or flanking them with AP. Luckily, he's going against an E6, which has some really wonky armor. On the sides, you have those, the way they're angled, you can kind of go through them because it has the armor of an M6, but it's a little more up-armored. You can kind of hit through those track wheels a bit. And what he's going to do is he's just going to focus that M10 because this is the tank that he needs to worry about. You don't see a lot of people do that, at least on my skill level. People will just farm hit points. They don't care about if someone's 100 hit points. Well, 100 hit points gets a tank out of the way, and that's one less person you have to worry about. And it's really upsetting for me when I have to deal with it. You have teammates who are just focusing the tank that you're shooting, and you're shooting that tank because it's in front of you, not because it's, just hit points, whereas they just want the hit points. They want the damage because it looks good for their stats. And that's kind of just my rant for that. So he's kind of shooting at this Ferdinand, trying to get it lower for his team. This tank is really team dependent. If you play it well, you will help your team out and you will win a lot. He's just trying to hit tanks he can shoot, and he's not trying to push too aggressively. He's not looking to stay. And looking to stay is a really bad idea in this tank. You want to keep moving. You want to use that mobility to help you. You can zip around the map like he's doing. And it's what's important for this tank is constantly moving, constantly getting damage out, because you have a 5-second reload and you have 190 average damage. You can just keep hitting people. And I've faced a couple of these guys, and they look like they're clueless in this tank. It's all down to your skill level. You're comfortable with this tank, or it's a numerous amount of things. If you're okay playing the average Russian playstyle, this tank's for you. If you're not, go buy a tech tree tank. This tank is balanced. It's not meant to be spectacular, but it's fun. Your gun mantlet, you can hit some stuff, you can block some stuff with it. Some people will just go right through you. And bam. Just shy of 3,000 damage. Solid game. Thanks again, Tiger, for giving me this replay. Really fun to look at. Much better than what I can do in the tank. I think I only average 1,500 in the tank. I'd have to look at my stats later for it, but it's not very good. You put a good player in a good tank, and bam, you have a good game. So now we're going to look at the Mexican 69. Spectacular game. And, it has an unfortunate outcome for him. This is going to be that second look at an aggressive play style as opposed to Tiger's kind of reserved, flanking, farming. There's two distinct ways to play this tank. You can play it supportive, or you can play it aggressive. And that LTTB just tried, pit maneuvering him. I actually don't know why I turned my volume up on here, because it doesn't change either way. But, we're going to be looking at this. He's going to be taking the video, looking at it. And, he's going to come up on this hill. A lot of mediums do this. It's just a very quick way to farm damage. It's a very solid way to do it. I personally don't come up this far, but when you don't have that gun depression, you have to. I try to stay a little bit off to the left, but that's when I'm using tanks with like 10 degrees of gun depression. Just to kind of use my turret. So I don't know what this J Panther was really looking at, because, obviously you'd be looking at the top of this tank and it's cupola, and you could obviously do that. This IS-2 is just going to get ruined. Why would you pull this far up? He's going to get permatracked. Because you could do that in this tank. And I think he shot him in the gun mantlet. I'm not really sure. The IS-2 just has horrible DPM. I think he might be using... No, he's not using the 85 millimeter, so he has like a 16 second reload. If he was stock, he has like 16. And he's going to move behind this Bulldog. He wants this Bulldog out of the way. He wants the mobile tanks away from him. And he's just bouncing shots. I don't know where they're shooting him, because this tank, its armor is not dependable, and you're just going to get hit. Every time I've used it, they've gone right through my front plate. And he's going to come out right after this IS-2 Berlin. He's just going to farm it. That's what you can do in this tank, and that's why I enjoy it. Solid DPM tanks. It is what it is. So now they're down to a 3v3 right now, and he just took a huge chunk of health taken away from him from that J Panther. The J Panther is also a pretty fun tank, and he just bought himself some time breaking his engine. I'm not sure if he tried to or if it was just luck, but the J Panther is... I think they just nerfed it, didn't they? They also nerfed the tier 6. I think they buffed the pen, though. I'm not sure. It's been so long since I looked at those notes when it last happened. And suddenly, his team is gone. It is a 1v3. 4 minutes left. And he's sitting at 3,000 damage. It's kind of nuts. You can just put out so much damage in this tank that you kind of forget that you're doing it. And this is... He's kind of looking to run. He's outnumbered, and if he sits out in the open, nothing's good is going to happen. You have very, very high damage tank destroyer. He has the SU-152 to worry about, and he also has this T-29 to worry about. And this T-29 is pretty healthy on hit points, and that's going to be a struggle for him, especially if those tank destroyers come up after him. Obviously everyone's going to be pushing towards his last known direction, which was up this hill. And, the smartest way to do is to cap. Since you have the hit points to use, why don't you get on the cap, put some pressure on the lower hit point medium tank, and, just be smart about it. Don't expose yourself on the cap too much, even though, you are. You have those trains there. A lot of people don't try to cap on this map. They either push too hard medium side or too hard heavy side, and they either get deleted or they steamroll someone. And it's just really, Dead Rail's a really weird map for me. I'm not a big fan of it. He's just farming this dude, but he did take a massive hit from that T-29, which jeopardizes his entire game. Maybe he might have been able to take another hit from the J Panther, or maybe a very awkward bounce or an HE from the SU-152, but now he's a one-shot. You can ram him and he'll die at this point. And that's really hard for someone in this situation in a 1v2 with 2.5 minutes left to really take care of. Last time we saw the SU-152, it was still pretty healthy, and same with that J Panther. But now they're on the cap. They're trying to put some pressure on him, and he's sitting at 4,111 damage. Now you can't tell me that this isn't a fantastic game. He's only blocked about, 500 damage. It's, you can block hits in this tank, but you're not going to do it reliably, which is why I keep saying your armor is not reliable. Maybe you'll catch one off your gun mantlet. Maybe you'll catch one off, something, a track. And unfortunately, he did not track him. And he is just going to sit here for the rest of the game trying to bait shots. And they do win off of cap points, which is absolutely frustrating for any good player and any player who really had to carry his team for something. He's sitting on, he's doing so much damage, and he has 4 kills, and his team has nothing. One guy got 2 kills. Whoop-de-doo. It's just, it's an upsetting game. And he's just going to sit here for the rest of the match, just trying to bait shots. I think he's just giving him a salute or something, because he's going to let it camp down. And it's just really upsetting. I have no idea what that one dude said, to be honest with you. He baits the shot, and I didn't understand why he didn't push up. He could have probably, with the SU-152 having that long reload, probably pushed the J Panther, but I'm not... I don't know. Maybe the J Panther would have just shot him right back. I don't know. But, once again, thank you guys for, submitting these clips. I don't do it very often, but, let's take a look at this J Panther here, because I was kind of curious about what he would do and what he would look like. He's a reroll. 226 battles, 77% win rate, sitting at a tier 7 tank. That's kind of wonky, huh? But, that's my opinion on this tank. I really appreciate you guys watching my videos and subscribing. We finally hit 100 subs. Really fun to see, and I really appreciate it. This video was a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but I really appreciate you guys coming out and, supporting the channel. And I just want to let you know my Discord is live. My Patreon is live. If you guys are looking to kind of support me at all, anything's appreciated. And I'm glad that I'm getting very positive feedback. But thank you for watching the channel. Stay cool, stay frosty, and I will see you in the next one, guys. Thank you.